Welcome to Broken Foot Kitchen Cleanup and Lunch Making. I broke my foot about 6 weeks ago, and up to this point I wasn't allowed to put any pressure on my boot at all. But after my x-ray this week, I was given the okay to roll on it a bit. In this video you can see how I move around while I'm making food and cleaning up. I've sped up all the moments between actually moving from A to B. You can see that I'm not using crutches, but I am using the counter. There's still pain, so I'm mostly just hopping, but when I stand, I try to put my foot down on the ground. My only measure for how much pressure I should be putting on it is the feeling, whether or not it's comfortable. I've noticed that I feel most comfortable by just putting my heel down on the ground. But if I put my toe down, it doesn't feel very good. And this right here is the first time I've tried to take any steps on my own without any support. We still had a bunch of things to clean up off the counters after Thanksgiving. And although I am making lunch right here, I like to clean before I start to cook. My goal each day after dinner is to clean before I even go to bed. But because of my broken foot, I've given myself a little bit of leeway. And although I have been a little bit more lax, I definitely prefer to wake up to a clean kitchen. I'd much prefer to be emptying a clean dishwasher over being lazy and leaving the dishes in the sink for the morning. But this was definitely a learned skill. Or perhaps habit is the better way to put it. Some good old-fashioned vinegar water to clean the countertops. There, and now that the counter is clean, I can take out my lunch making supplies. I'm making open-faced and gluten-free tuna sandwiches for the boys. No cheese today because apparently I'm cutting some corners. Oh, look at that little twist. So I had already drained the albacore tuna can and I put it in a little bowl. Here I'm grabbing the gluten-free bread that's been in the freezer and toasting it. I have this very special stuff that I keep in my fridge all the time. My friend Rose makes this from scratch. It's a balanced cream and it feels so good under the eyes. The coolness, it's so refreshing. It's made with the cleanest ingredients. And I'll try to somehow link it if you want to check it out. If you want clean and healthy things to put on your face, this is the stuff. So yeah, we've all made tuna before, I'm assuming, just breaking up little pieces of the tuna. I'm grabbing a board because I want to put some tomato. That thing that looks like an orange is a tomato.
You know what span is?
Whoop. And for me, I'm having leftovers. I made salmon and the best mashed potatoes I've ever had in my life the other day. And apparently if you put your potatoes into the fridge, it reduces the effects of the carbs on your system. And because I'm trying to be as keto as possible, I try not to eat potatoes very often, but we had some leftovers from Thanksgiving. Oh, I'm drinking aloe juice right there. Yeah, so I'm just using the leftover mashed potatoes from Thanksgiving here that I kind of upgraded with dill chives, cheese, butter. And here's a little bit of a close-up. And seriously, if you haven't had leftover salmon straight from the fridge, I highly recommend it. It is so good. Today I'm just going to heat it up in the microwave because I don't feel like dirtying another pan, but you can just straight up eat it from the container, and it's probably the healthiest thing for you. Oh, I have a friend who makes the best bone broth, both chicken and beef bone broth, and it makes the best replacement for gravy. I do not need my gravy to be thick. I just need the flavor and I need the health benefits. And this is it. All I did was just pour some chicken bone broth straight onto my mashed potatoes. And voila, you have the best comfort food ever. The most important part of sandwich making is to make sure that the edges are covered in either mayo or butter. I think doing that deserves its own love language category in and of itself. This tuna is very simple. It's just mayo and tuna, a little bit of salt and pepper. You can add mustard, diced onions, diced celery, carrots, radishes, whatever you want. Or you can leave it as is and let the tomatoes shine. And a little bit of salt and pepper on top of the tomatoes makes a world of difference. We are currently using light gray Celtic sea salt. If you've never tried an heirloom tomato with a little bit of salt and pepper on it, you are missing out on life. I'm just cleaning as I go. This is so simple, but just a few dill pickles on the side, cut into strips, really upgrades your entire sandwich experience.
He's a fan tester.
I'm so excited to eat my delicious meal.
Thank you is an understatement.
And in this moment, I highly relate with the French not wanting people to use ketchup trope. The audacity of some people. Perfection. And just a couple more weeks to go in the boot.